What up, Fearless Agent Nation? Here I'm getting my camera all squared away. I'm trying to get outside more often, so I figured, why don't I kill two birds with one stone? Why don't I do a live stream while I get outside and enjoy this, for us, fantastic weather here in spring. You may hear the sound of freedom. See if we can get this in the background. See that? It's the Freedom flying over us. I'm right here close to Hill Air Force Base, and I don't know what kind of bomber that is, but it's a badass bomber. So you can think the sound of freedom for your freedom. Energy, enthusiasm is so extremely important for you guys. I want to get this message very clear, and I'm gonna share a story. I remember it was 2012, right? I remember it was January. I was really stoked to just start that year out and just make a lot of money. That was a really great year for me. I think I did, I don't know, $220,000 in income that year. That was my first really big year to break into multiple six figures, not just a six-figure income, but a multiple six-figure income that year. And I remember this one particular for sell by owner that I had set an appointment with, and they already told me like 100 times they weren't going. You might have heard this. You can come over, but we're not going to sign anything. If you've heard that, put yes in the remarks below. And by the way, put in the remarks below as well where you're from, what city you guys are located in, if you're listening live or if you're listening recorded, so you can hear that. Have you ever heard for sell by owner or a seller say, hey, we're not signing anything? This was exactly what these guys had told me. In fact, they were committed to list with a top agent in our area, Ryan Ivey. He's still a great agent, still does a lot of business. And I went over there and I had my script ready, my presentation ready, and I remember I was so excited because I wanted to hit a particular goal. By the end of March, I wanted to make $50,000 in the first quarter, which was a lot of money back then. It still is today, right? And so I was really excited and really enthusiastic about this. And I'd been reading one of my favorite books at the time, How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success and Failing by Frank Betchker, an amazing insurance salesman and professional baseball player in the 50s. And I had a phone call just pop in. I remembered his story about how he tripled his income just by increasing his energy, just by increasing his enthusiasm. And what he would do is, every time it would change innings, he would run straight to his position. He would run and be the first one out on the field, full of excitement. Every time he was up to bat, he'd get up to bat and he'd just jump up and down and be full of energy and enthusiasm. So he talks about in his book how this relayed into his insurance sales business. And I said, well, hey, it can't hurt me, right? So I just decided to be full of enthusiasm from that point forward. And I remember I showed up on this appointment and we went through the whole listing presentation. Everything was smooth, and remember they told me they weren't listing with me. Even when I met with them and I was asking the gut-quenching question, if everything makes sense, would anything stop us from getting the ball rolling tonight? And they said, hey, we're not signing anything tonight, but we'll definitely listen to hear what you have to say. And it came out, they said they were going to be listing with Ryan Ivey. And at the end of that appointment, we were high-fiving. We were literally high-fiving as they were signing that listing agreement, and they were super excited to get their house listed with me. $300,000, listed it, sold within 6 days, full price offer for sell by owner. Awesome deal. But I remember that feeling of high-fiving them, full of energy, full of enthusiasm, and I said, I'm going to take that into every one of my deals going forward. And now if I literally had a customer call me back today, past customer. As I follow up with, when I close on a customer, I do a survey call and I ask about their experience working with my team. And so for example, this particular customer worked with one of the agents on my team, so I do the feedback call, and as I'm talking to him, as I'm listening to this voice message, he said, you know what, Colton, I really appreciate watching your live streams on Facebook and your YouTube videos. Your enthusiasm is infectious. That's what he said in the voicemail to me today. And I said, you know, I've never even met this guy in person, but he knows who I am, and he knows my enthusiasm is infectious. And he said he would be delighted to send any referral our way. And I said, you know what? This is something that the Fearless Agent Nation needs to hear more often, is the excitement and the enthusiasm that comes from winning and having victories inside of your real estate sales business. I think so many times we get stuck in the routine, the mundane routine of making the phone calls and getting told no and getting beat up, and it gets a little, knocks you down a little bit. But I can promise you this: if you can increase your enthusiasm, and the way to become enthusiastic is to act enthusiastic. If you increase that enthusiasm, you'll increase naturally the amount of appointments that come to you. It's part of the PKA, or the PKE, the prospecting karma effect. It just naturally happens. I don't know that there's a metric, a way to measure this. I haven't found it if there is a way to measure this enthusiasm, this energy, but I would encourage you guys to focus on every single day being enthusiastic. And one way I'm going to share with you guys on how you can instantly increase your enthusiasm by acting enthusiastic is anytime I'm going to invite you guys to do this. You guys have heard me if you're watching my live prospecting calls. Anytime someone calls you or sees you and says, "How are you doing?" I want you to respond like this. Write this down. "I love my life." Okay? When you hear that response, you can't help but say, what the hell has this guy got going on over there that he loves his life so much? And I've learned that as I've said this more often to people, and I truly do love my life, by the way, and every time I've said this, literally it kind of shocks people and say, wow, what are you doing? What is it that you've got going on? And they might not say it that way, but they say something like, that's the best response I've heard in a long time. Wow, that's awesome. I wish I had some of that. You know what I'm saying? And so now all of a sudden you're communicating that enthusiasm in the simplest form that we do all the time. We ask how people are doing, and people ask how you're doing. Okay, another great way you could respond to that is say, "Hi, I'm doing better than great. I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing dynamite." So get really energetic. So I challenge you to say, "I love my life," when people ask you how you're doing. And everything you do it with enthusiasm. Do it with the level up of energy that it takes to sprint onto the baseball field or the football field or whatever it is, but make sure that you're doing it full out. Appreciate you guys being on here. Once again, make sure to put where you guys are from so I can just kind of track the Fearless Agent Nation across where we're getting the followers from. And if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. Go ahead and send me a personal message or ask on this thread. I'd love to go ahead and help you guys out. Make sure, if you haven't already, go join Fearless Agent. Go to fearlessagent.com and get started immediately, or at least get a free 1-hour coaching call with Bob Leffler if you'd like. For those of you that are part of the Fearless Agent Nation, awesome. We appreciate you. We appreciate the growth together. Let me know how I can help you guys, but do yourself a favor. Guys and gals, get off your duff. Go sign up for Fearless Agent Coaching if you haven't already. And remember, to be enthusiastic, you must act enthusiastic. And when you're enthusiastic, it will literally change your entire life. It will change your financial world. It will change the customers that you attract. It will change your success almost overnight. And so I would suggest that we take a look at this day, whether you're Christian or not Christian. It's definitely aware of your consciousness. The idea of Easter and the idea of Christ rising up. Think about, how could you apply that into your life? Where do you need to forgive yourself?